Hola, hello everybody. It is, oh no, I forgot to hardwire in. I meant to do that before I went live. Hopefully the signal will do what it's supposed to and we'll be okay. Hey everybody, it is day 7 of Vlogmas here on my YouTube channel. In honor of Vlogmas, I am going live every day at 2 p.m. Eastern with a video about a different topic. Thank y'all so much for coming to hang out with me, and thank you to the folks who are catching the replay. So far this week, we've done 6 different videos, all related to moving abroad in some way, shape, or form, because that is one of the topics we talk about here on this channel. My channel. My name is Adelia Borjade. I left the US 7 years ago because I wanted to live a life that I really loved. I wanted to live a life that made me happy, and that was not happening in the United States. So I left, and it was a good move. I built an incredible life out here. And so that's one of the things I talk about on this channel, living abroad, the process, if you're interested in that sort of thing. I also talk about travel, and I also talk about money because ain't none of this stuff free. And so you need to have a good handle on your financial situation in order so that you can live a life that you love. And that's really what I want for everybody. So, whether you're just here because you heard from, Stephanie or Rashida that I was doing Vlogmas, or you're here because the YouTube algorithm sent this video to you, if you like this kind of content, you want to hear more about what I have to say, go ahead, subscribe to the channel or hit the like button. That will definitely let YouTube know that you want to see more videos from me. Um, Today's video kind of, I had a client earlier this week that sort of, I'm not going to say that they inspired this video because I was kind of already thinking about talking about this topic, but they reminded me why I needed to talk about this topic. Um, my client this week, unsatisfied with the current life that they have in the US and they want to leave. And when I asked, because they didn't have a lot of the usual things tying them down and holding them back, I was like, so why are you planning so many years ahead? Why can't you leave now? And their immediate response was financial one. And I think sometimes it's hard for us to see beyond our own situation. It's very easy sometimes for us to see what other people should do, can do, but whether what we are able to do, we can't always see. And so when I asked, like, what's the holdup on the move? Their response was primarily financial. And then as we started to discuss things, it became clear that that particular financial issue wasn't the impediment that they were thinking it was. And so that's kind of what begs the question, like, is it really about the money? So I wanted to talk today about like doing the math for the life that you want. And that could look like anything. It could be that you want to leave the United States and you've got this idea that it is going to take buckets and buckets of money, and you can't leave until you've got those buckets of money. You can't leave until you've got additional money to plan the trip, and then it's going to cost you so much to live in this other place. Well, is that true? Do you know that for sure? Have you done the math? Um, I think it was a few months ago. I think Rashida Dow, y'all know time does not really exist for me in quite the same way. So it could have been 2 years ago she did this video. It could have been 3 months ago. I don't remember. But I know Rashida talked about this on her channel about people disqualifying themselves from the life that they want because they assume they don't have enough money. They don't have it, and they don't really know how much it would actually cost. And so that's what I want to look at today. And so if it is, I want to move abroad, but girl, I don't have the money for that. Uh, I would challenge you, like whether you're saying, like, oh, Adelia, I would love to go to you and Ivana's Reclaim the Retreat, but I don't have the money. Or I really would like to start working with a therapist, but I don't have insurance, and it's probably gonna be expensive, so you put that off. Um, I can't stand this job, and I hate these people, and I really want out of here, but I don't have money to quit the job. And my question is, do you know that for sure? Have you done the math? And so, what I want to do is encourage you to find out how much money does it take to do the thing that I want to do? Like, primarily, most of the people I get this kind of comment from, it's about moving abroad. I did a video many moons ago. Uh, and if you are watching this video in the future, these links will be in the description. At the moment, they are not there because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I barely woke up from a nap. I really still need to be napping, but I didn't want to keep y'all waiting too long. Okay, so I did a video a little while back, and now I have it called Move Abroad Math. That is not what the title of it is, but it is creating like a financial plan to move abroad. And it talks about all of the things you are likely to need to pay for. Um, and I would say that that video, if I'm talking to you right now, that video along with the Move Abroad checklist is a good place to start to actually start with the math. And I am talking about literally sitting down and tallying up how much how much are plane tickets going for right now? How much if I need X number of weeks in a hotel, how much is that? Like getting a concrete number before we just stay in this place of I don't have the money for it. Because really, is it that we don't have the money, we can't afford it? Or is it like we've got this perception that doing this thing, going to this place, must be very expensive? But what is that perception based on? Like, ask yourself, why is it that I don't think I can afford to do this? Why do I think I need more money to do this thing? Why is it that I think I will never have enough money to do this thing? Um, you want you want to do something really eye-opening? If you have been earning a certain amount of money for a certain number of years, do on that and multiply how much money you've earned in the last 10 years, 20 years. Some of y'all could probably do that for a lifetime. You would be shocked, and in my case, appalled at the amount of money you've earned versus like, what did I spend? Where did that money go? So I think a lot of us have this idea that like, oh, that's something like out of reach for me financially, and it's not even possible. And I'm saying, How do you know it's not possible if you've not done the math? Speaking of quitting your job, I did a video. Oh, I like this sunflower. Is it okay to say I don't have the money now, but will in blank? Um, I since you asked, my personal opinion, I probably wouldn't even say like I don't have the money now. It's I'm working on that. Because I would be doing the math, figuring out actually how much is it how much is it going to cost? Do I actually not have the money? Because that's what is suspect to me. Uh is that I think often we say we don't have enough and we've not actually validated that. And so that's the challenge I'm issuing to y'all today. This time of year, end of year before you like kick off your new year, new me thing in January, this is a good time. Your credit cards are getting ready to do the whole like annual spending, and so there's a lot of like recapping and revisiting happening this time of the year. What I would say to do is figure out what does it cost to do the thing you want, whatever that thing is. And then look at your current financial situation. How much money is in the bank? You know, how much do you have in cash? Do these numbers actually are they incompatible? Because some of y'all I think are going to find out that, oh, I actually do have the money to do this. I've just been thinking I didn't. Some of us will be like, "Hmm, there's a big gap between the money I have and the cost of doing the thing I want." And if that's the case, um, the next step is looking at, okay, so how do I close this gap? What am I currently spending money on? What have I spent money on in the past that does not align with the thing that I want to do, the way I want to live my life? Let's eliminate that. Why are we putting money toward things that are not about the life of our dreams and the things we want to do? Okay. Can I redirect that toward this thing I want to do? Maybe the dream is moving abroad and you watch my video, you work up your plan, you get a number, and you are like, I don't have anywhere near this amount. Okay. You don't have to come up with that money in 2 days. What if you gave yourself a year and you broke it down into divided it by 12? Is that a more reasonable number to work with? Because I don't like this idea of us um, saying, I don't like if. I don't like, oh, I would do that if. I would move here if. I don't like that. I like the word how. Let me figure out how I can do that, how I can pay for that. I prefer how thinking versus if thinking. All right. And so after I'm looking at my financials and the thing I want to do, I'm identifying what needs to change. Some of y'all think you need to make more money, and you really don't, because you probably don't have a good idea of where the current money you have, where is it going? This is what I tell people all the time. If you don't know, if you're not tracking your spending, you don't things that are important should be tracked. So if you don't know where the money is going, you really can't say, I know for sure that I can't afford this thing. So if from doing this kind of thought activity, you discover like, whoo, I really have no idea where my money is going. That's where you start, because you can't keep holding on to this idea of I don't have the money to do XYZ. I can't afford to do XYZ if you've never really looked. So I want you to find out the cost of the thing that you want to do. I want you to really look at your money and see where it is going. Um, I know because who is this? Jess talking about the no spend challenge we did. Uh, Doing that, it became very clear to me where my spending problems were because the how little I ended up spending during that challenge when I would not do unnecessary spending. It was like, oh, look what things could be looking like if you weren't out here buying fabric all of the time. So, yeah. And then figure out what are the changes that need to make. Is it about your spending? Is it about how much you are making? Because there may be some adjustments you can make that you don't have to go out and earn any more money. You just have to redirect the money that you already have coming in. Okay. For the folks who are like, yes, I would love to quit this job. I hate these people. I hate this job. I hate everything about it. I did a video about getting yourself financially ready to quit your job. And what is the actual name of this video? I think, oh, I don't have it open. I think that's what it is. But here is the URL uh, about like what do you need to do? How do you figure out um, like how much money do you need? Because I know it has been drilled into us that you don't quit a job unless you have a new job lined up. Like that is the only time that it is acceptable to quit. Um, and that is blatantly untrue. Y'all know on this channel, I'm all about you leaving things that no longer serve you, whether it's a job, a person, a country, whatever it is. There is no rule that says you have to continue to stay in a place that is not beneficial to you. All right. Um, okay. So we talked about like what you need to do. And so, as I said to y'all at the beginning, like having this client this week, after we got to talking about, you know, what like student loans. That was one of the things that came up. And they kept thinking, like, I cannot 100% right, Stephanie, leave. I can't leave until I handle these student loans. Uh, and my question was why? Because actually, unless it is like your fervent belief that, hey, I took out these loans and it's my duty to repay them, unless that's how you feel, I don't see why you need to stay and continue to be in an environment that's not serving you just to pay off those loans. Not when you can get in an income-based repayment plan and be outside the US and have your income be $0 for tax purposes, which means your loan payment is $0. So to solve this person's student loan problem, it wasn't about needing more money to pay off the loans. It was about finding a different solution to the problem. And so that's what I want to encourage everybody to do. Um, and because remember, these lives are going to be super short. I wanted to mention um, a workshop that I am doing. I was going to say next week. It might be next week. I don't know how weeks work. It is on the 18th. Okay, so that is not next week. I just double checked. Um, it is not next week. It is the week after. Okay, so let's say that the thing you want to do is you want to not have to work. You want to be maybe work optional. You want to be able to decide fairly freely um, how you spend your days. You don't want to be tied to a particular location, a particular job. And one way, to do that is financial independence, financial freedom. Um, I I've talked about this before, but I am offering a workshop Oops, hold on. That does not have a space in it. Ah, this is why I should not be typing. Okay. The URL for the workshop is pickygirltravelstheworld.com/coaching. On December 18th, I think it is at 8 p.m. Eastern. I am doing a workshop for the people who want to do the math. They want to actually figure out, like, this is the life I want. I'm tired of working all together. I want to be done. I want to do this forever. How do you do the math to figure that out? That is what we're going to be doing in the workshop. We're going to be figuring out, like, how much money do you actually need if you don't want to work anymore? How much money do you need if you only want to work a little bit? Okay. And then we're going to talk about, okay, so this is the number I have. How do I start doing that? Or this is the number I have. This is the amount of money I have. How do I close this gap? Okay. Literally, the workshop is called Do the Math. Uh, so this workshop is for folks who are, maybe you're considering FIRE, or you've heard about that recently, financial independence, retire early, or how I like to think of FIRE, financial independence, relax and ease. And I did do a video on my own FIRE journey, um, because I left the rat race in 2020 because that job was getting in the way of the life that I wanted to lead. So here, oh, wait, let me get y'all this link. Uh, okay. This is the actual title of this one. Okay. So, um, if you are looking for a little bit of help and guidance in doing that math on uh, not working anymore, come hang out with me on December 18th, and we'll do that. Uh, Sounds like Jackie. I don't want any more paid employment, and I'm not sure how long I will live. And that's I think a lot of our feelings about there isn't enough money is, like I said, one, we've not done the math. And two, a lot of us have this mindset that we will be here forever. And some of y'all will be here till you're 115. I won't be, but some of y'all will be. But that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the workshop is, based off of who you are right now, life expectancy, how much money. And so I think it's very interesting to look at the amount of money you might need if you're going to live your 90 or, what have you. So, um, how long can I last on 40K in Mexico? 40,000 pesos tomorrow, $40,000, depending on how you live your life by the weekend. It all depends. It all depends. Okay. So I'm gonna go back through here and see if we have any questions. I love this. Aileen, I have a 3-year plan, which includes paying off debt so I can reduce expenses and increase savings and money to invest. Um, I don't think there was anybody asked. I can't remember. But y'all know I also do the Get Started Investing Challenge. Um, there will be one in January. So if that's something like, hey, next time Adelia does the Get Started Investing Challenge, I want to be there for that. Um, that's coming up. There have been several of you that have sent me notes and comments about videos you would like to see for Vlogmas. Some of you, I know the people who emailed me directly, I think over this next week, because our focus is going to be on money, I think we're going to hit most of the topics y'all want to know. Um, so uh, yeah, yeah. All right. So my time is up for today. Again, I just want to encourage you that when you find yourself saying, I can't, I can't do that. I don't have the money for that. Like, oh, I wish I could. I want you to actually do the math before you commit to that thought and hold on to it. Okay. So I will see y'all back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.